Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Volume 8, where really, we're almost at the double digits. How crazy is that? Hope you enjoy. What about becoming an adult caught you completely off guard? I can do whatever I want, but I don't really want to do anything. Yeah, what do they call it? Opportunity paralysis. The constant anxiety of realizing you're just getting older while still not knowing what the hell you're gonna do with your life. Where the fuck does all the dust come from? How it just goes on endlessly. When you're a kid, there's a summer break every year and a new school to go to in a couple of years. Whatever part of your life you are in, it's clearly delimited and there is something new to look forward to. Once you're an adult, it's just 5 days of work and 2 days of weekend over and over and over until you die. You didn't need to drop such a harsh red pill, but there it is. What children's cartoon had the darkest theme? Popeye spent most of his time beating the crap out of Brutus for repeatedly trying to... Okay. Adventure Time alluded to the mushroom wars of the past, which were likely mushroom clouds from a nuclear war, suggesting that this fantastical world was really the new mutations from our post-apocalyptic future. The reason he's the last airbender is because they literally genocided his entire race. Fairly Odd Parents, a story of a neglected kid abused by his babysitter and regretted by his parents. Those parents don't want to be parents and are jealous of the Dinkelbergs. Dink meaning double income, no kids. Which actor can be identified by voice alone? Morgan Freeman? No one can do a good impression of Morgan Freeman. Gilbert Godfrey? Schwarzenegger. I feel like half of that though is because it's like, oh, it's some weird European country accent. David Attenborough. Sir Sean Connery? Yeah, it's because he has that shh that I just did then when I said it. He talks like this. Fran Drescher? Oh, is that the annoying like woman? I could go my whole life without hearing that again. J.K. Simmons? This is one of my favorite J.K. Simmons quotes. Boss, your wife is on the phone. She said she lost her checkbook. Thanks for the good news. Marijuana users of Reddit, what is the biggest negative side effect of your habit? Brain fog / low energy are the biggest chronic side effects. When I quit, it's insomnia, lack of appetite, and gastric distress for a couple days. Jesus, how often were you smoking? I got the idea to mix my sushi rice, medium grain rice, and long grain rice together to make what my brain called Neapolitan rice. Randy Marsh in South Park had a great point years ago whenever someone asked about the downsides of smoking weed. Pot makes you feel fine with being bored, and it's when you're bored that you should be learning some new skill or discovering some new science or being creative. If you smoke pot, you may grow up to find out that you aren't good at anything. Damn, South Park just has some gems like that in there. What is the most beautiful fact you know about the universe? If you had a scale model of the solar system with a 1mm wide sun, Alpha Centauri, the next closest sun, would be over 40 kilometers away, and the whole galaxy would be bigger than the Earth at 100,000 kilometers wide. That's scaled down by 1 trillion. It's so hard to comprehend how big something like that is. One of the most mind-blowing and beautiful facts about the universe is that we are all made of stardust. I exist in the same time and space with my wife and my dog. There's one artist on Twitter that has this beautiful painting and it just says, "I'm glad we exist in the same lifetime." It is just gorgeous and they've done an amazing job of it. It's such a sweet sentiment. Has anyone ever been to a wedding where someone actually objected? And if so, how did that go? I worked a wedding where one of the mums objected, but I think the groom knew that the parent was going to say something, so they just responded with, "Oh, sit down. We knew you didn't like this a year ago, and clearly we're not going to change our minds today." He's spitting bars right now. My husband's first marriage, the brother of the bride stood up and said, "Say no, you can still be happy." I went to a wedding where the best man was replaced a week before because he banged the bride, but the wedding still went ahead, just with a different best man. And the cherry on top, they are divorced now. At my uncle's funeral, his ex-wife and a local church leader tried to raise him from the dead. We were all sitting there like normal people at a normal funeral, and she walks up to the casket and starts yelling, "James Lester, rise up!" What is just not the flex that people think it is? Boasting about how much drinking and smoking weed they can do. I feel like that dies like mid-20s. Grinding crazy hours, not taking holidays. 60 to 80 hours work weeks and no holidays. My co-workers flexing their $900 car payments for new cars they didn't need to buy with high interest rates. Riding around in a limousine. I think it was David Spade who made the joke about it, saying, "Whenever I see someone riding in a limo, I think, wow, you have $300. Being a self-proclaimed asshole bitch. Yeah, that doesn't excuse your behavior. I'm my own boss, MLM participant. What is the single best episode of television you've ever seen? You Only Move Twice had the best Simpson one-off, Hank Scorpio. That is one of the best episodes of The Simpsons ever made. For a sitcom, I think it's Top Banana from Arrested Development. First non-pilot episode nails so many of the characters down. Doctor Who Blink. Not a fan of the series, I haven't watched all episodes. I've seen this very episode accidentally years ago and it's stuck in my head ever since. I think the best part of it is that it doesn't feel like a Doctor Who episode, so you can show somebody who doesn't watch Doctor Who this episode, The Simpsons, the monorail episode. Another banger one, man. I love The Simpsons. What's the most creepy thing you've ever witnessed? This guy followed me home, said he saw me there often and named a few local spots I go to, sometimes as places he sees me. When I was about 12, I was sleeping on my trampoline with a friend and we heard the bushes move behind us, flash our flashlight to the bushes and a mountain lion was laying there stalking us. I have never run so fast in my life. Jesus Christ. When I was serving my time as an engineer in the merchant navy, we used to have to clean out what we called sea chests. One day we opened up the chest, pulled out the filter and immediately saw this gold shiny thing which turned out to be a Rolex watch. We went through it thoroughly and found a piece of a shirt with a cufflink still attached and last but not least, a nicely rotted finger. What is a fact or statistic that seems fake but is real? George Washington didn't know dinosaurs existed. What an idiot. Horses kill more people every year in Australia than all other beasts combined, which is so weird because I don't ever see a horse. In English, the color orange was named after the fruit. Before that, orange was just considered a shade of red. That's why gingers are called redheads. It took us more time to go from bronze swords to iron swords than it did for us to go from iron swords to nuclear weapons. We live closer in time to Tyrannosaurus Rex than the T-Rex did to the Stegosaurus. Did the dinosaurs all not live together at one time? Do I sound really stupid asking that question? Who was the worst student in your high school and what did they do that was so bad? The boy that put a pipe bomb into another kid's locker because he talked to the girl the original boy liked. There was a kid who walked up to the pencil sharpener and set the substitute teacher's hair on fire from behind. Yeah, he's in prison. Killed a kid. There's so many that start with, yeah, so this kid died. I knew a lot of shitty people back in school, but I think the guys who dropped a whole desk out of a third-story window onto some kid qualify as the worst. I'll be honest, I thought worst student would be like, yeah, he made the teacher cry. Do you ever think of ghosting everyone and then moving away to a new country? If so, where would you go? Every once in a while, on the drive home from a crazy day of work in the middle of a crazy week at home, I wonder how far I could get if I just kept driving. Could I make it to a small rural town where I could work for cash? How long would it take for someone to find me? I'm now gonna constantly have that thought as well, I think. Every time I've wanted to do exactly this, it's been the start to a manic episode. Okay, thanks, man. I'm actually thinking about doing that. I would love to just go anywhere that isn't here. I really want to just disappear inside a new life somewhere that no one knows me. I like instead of like Reddit being like, oh, hey, like, you know, things are getting it better, it's all right. The first reply to that is, Vietnam is a pretty good place to do that. People who wake up at 5 a.m. daily. Why? My cat politely lays on my neck until I wake up. Do you think I'm doing this on purpose? By 6:30, there is already gridlock on the way to work. I go in early and get off early, beating the rush hour traffic both ways. That actually is kind of smart, I don't mind that. Dog can't seem to understand we sleep in on the weekends. I like the quiet and alone time of the early morning. Allows a couple of hours of doing what I want and no one interrupting or distracting me. That does actually sound kind of peaceful when you put it like that. There's a small human that pokes me in the eye and says mummy up until I get up and make her toast. Who do you believe is literally evil? Uday Hussein was one of the most sadistic, cruel, violent, and predatory humans in existence. Under the section partying, describes how he'd force his friends to stand against a wall and consume drinks of 90% alcohol and drugs in 10 minutes. I knew a guy who retired from an investment firm before he was 40. I inquired if I could get a job at the firm. He told me, if you can look a woman in the eyes who's scrubbing floors all her life and tell her that you can quadruple her life savings by investing in a stock you know is worthless, then you could work there. Holy shit. David Miscavige, the leader of the Church of Scientology. Watch the Louis Theroux thing on Scientology, it's very interesting. What movie blew your mind when you first saw it? The Sixth Sense. Before the internet, you could actually watch a movie with a surprise ending and have it be a surprise. Raiders of the Lost Ark. I was about 9 and walked out of the theater like, wow. Fight Club. It was such a weird movie with such crazy characters. Beautifully shot and a great story with themes that are still interesting today. I hate that like there's a little bit of that like Sigma male bullshit that surrounds it now, but it's a really good movie. The Dark Knight. This was the first time I had seen a major budget comic book movie taken this seriously, and Heath Ledger was completely and utterly captivating every second that he was on the screen. I feel like The Dark Knight is the only movie where they were like comic book movie, kind of edgy with like some fucked up characters, and it's done well and it's not done over the top. How would you feel if you turned on the news tomorrow and found out Donald Trump had passed away? In the words of Ice Cube, I ain't gonna pop no champagne, but I ain't gonna shed no tears either. What a quote. Did Ron DeSantis write this? A bit of relief immediately followed by dread for all the absolute psycho babble bullshit the QAnon nutters will start spewing about it. Oh, that's true. There will be so many conspiracies about him being killed. Annoyed that it would dominate the news cycle for several weeks. Oh, a president of the United States died. Oh, how dare they let this run in my news cycle? Shut up. I would be sad because Biden, Obama, and Trump would no longer play Minecraft together. What's considered a kid's movie but is still very enjoyable to watch as an adult? The Incredibles. Rewatching it as an adult makes you realize how brilliant it truly is. I do want to rewatch that actually. I've been thinking about that. Iron Giant. Emperor's New Groove. Wall-E. The first half has engrossing storytelling that's all entirely visual. No dialogue at all. It's an absolute masterpiece. Robots with Ewan McGregor and Robin Williams. Finding Nemo. Okay, that's actually a banger movie. Lilo and Stitch. Love Lilo and Stitch. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. See, I remember that existing, but like, did anyone watch it? If you were to eat the same thing for breakfast every morning, what would it be? I've eaten 3 eggs for almost every breakfast the last 13 years. That's not bad. Chuck in some bacon and you're having a good time. I already do. I eat oatmeal for breakfast 99% of the time. Are you okay? I do that already. Coffee and Outlook emails. That's a joke that you would tell somebody at work. You're on Reddit. Your name is also PM me your right nipple. It's a toss-up between French toast and Honey Nut Cheerios. A sandwich and 2 cups of coffee. Who eats a sandwich for breakfast? Porridge. And I do eat it every day for breakfast already. What are some interesting, creepy topics to look into? Cornflakes. The inventor of cornflakes made it bland and boring so people won't get excited and have sex or masturbate. The amount of people that go missing in Alaska. Oh, is that the Wendigoon one? Is that state tragedy a Wendigoon thing? The number of active serial killers at any given time, including right now. The amount of people who seem to disappear in the forest even when around others. MK Ultra and the US government's willingness to test LSD on unsuspecting citizens. I kind of was thinking about doing a video on MK Ultra. I like that. Who was a popular celebrity 5 years ago but is now considered washed up? Ellen DeGeneres. After being exposed as an asshole, she didn't get talked about much as of today. Kevin Spacey, back when House of Cards was popular. And you're forgetting when he was in Black Ops 3 or Advanced Warfare, one of those. James Franco vanished. Oh yeah, he did. Lil Pump. J. Cole told him exactly what would happen to his career, and long behold it did. He's made his money, he's fine now. Iggy Azalea. Although I guess going the OnlyFans route is a comeback of sorts, mate. Iggy Azalea's on OnlyFans? Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Not washed up, but the guy seemed like he was in every movie from 2010 to 2015 and just stopped. Which TV show can be identified by a single quote? I am the one who knocks. Doe. It's never lupus. In the criminal justice system, sexually based offenses are considered especially heinous. In New York City, the dedicated detectives who investigate these vicious felonies are members of an elite squad known as the Special Victims Unit. These are their stories. Dun dun! Cool. Was that New Girl? Was that in that one New Girl crossover episode? Platypus? Perry the Platypus? I like that someone gave up. Previously on Lost. This one came out like a little bit too close to me to the last one, so I found a long map next time, so it should be like a couple of months till the next one. So if you enjoy it, subscribe and stick around. And I make other videos, have a look at that. Alright, bye!